If you have a very odd sitting posture, whatever it is that's wrong with you, our doctor here will handle that for you. And also, you can ask questions on Twitter and also on Instagram at GH1TV. It is that simple. Find us on DSTV channel 361. Before we carry on, let me give you some information about the Cheers Health Walk. The hashtag is Cheers for Black Stars. Next week, Saturday, we're all converging here. From 6 a.m., we start our walk, and it's all in support of the Black Stars ahead of the AFCON. This year, we must bring the cup home. After 38 years of drought, it is not enough. It's enough. We want to finally bring it home so we can all celebrate together, and we trust that the boys will do that for us. So, you should be here. Special thanks to all the sponsors for making the Cheers Health Walk a possibility. All your favorite TV presenters and personalities will be joining us, and some past and present Black Star players as well will be joining us. And so let's look forward to it. And I'll tell you more about that new telenovela as well that we are going to start showing in a bit. My name is Berla Mundi. Let's take a look at what is trending in around the world.
Former Public Relations Officer of Men's Gold has disclosed his reasons for leaving the defunct gold dealership firm after 8 months of speculations. In an interview on Monday, George Quay revealed several threats on his family from customers made him pull out of the company. Mr. Quay explained he would not have been bothered if he was alone and faced those threats from customers. Stoneboy and many big artists like Morgan Heritage, Diamond Platinum over the weekend performed at the Tomorrow Leaders Festival in Kenya. After the concert, reports were published by most online publishers that Stoneboy had a flopped show and that he was even kicked out of the hotel room by the organizers. Stoneboy didn't take the reports lightly as he felt very disappointed in the reportage. He further mentioned that since the law of the country works, he will resort to it. Budding Ghanaian actress Victoria Lebenemeta and Ghanaian blogger Eugene Osafo Nkansa have tied the knot together at a ceremony held in Accra on Tuesday, 11th June 2019. The couple had their engagement ceremony earlier Tuesday morning and later headed to a beach in Accra for their white wedding, which, however, had a traditional theme. Unlike the traditional ceremony, which was strictly attended by a close family, the reception saw a large number of celebrities, including actors, actresses, musicians, and media personalities, amongst others. Ghana has gradually blossomed into a tourism hotspot, with the Ministry of Tourism christening 2019 as the Year of Return Ghana 2019. American rapper and activist Robert Remick Williams, better known as McMill, has dropped strong hints on Twitter that he could visit Ghana this year. It, however, remains unclear whether the Uptown Vibes hitmaker will be making the trip to the West African country on a purely vacation basis or might be involved in any musical concerts and business activity. Although Rihanna, real name Robin Rihanna Fenty, hasn't released an album in more than 3 years, it's clear the work she's putting into her other business ventures is paying off. The singer is the richest female musician in the world, according to Forbes' annual Rich List. Riri has an estimated fortune of $600 million, with the bulk of that coming from her Fenty Beauty range, which was launched in September 2017 and racked up sales of $100 million in its first few weeks. She's overtaken Madonna and Beyonce, who previously topped the list.
Yes, and congratulations going out to you now, Mrs. Nkansa. That's really, really good news, and we wish you the very best in your marriage. Of course, to you as well, Eugene. It's definitely great news this week. But we also heard that the 2 Canadian girls that were abducted have been rescued. The big question, however, so where are our Takoradi girls? And more pressure is being mounted on the Ghana police to solve that particular problem as well. A few people are saying that it looks like Black lives don't matter in Ghana anymore, but I'm sure that that the Ghana police is doing whatever they can to ensure we find our girls and we find them alive. And so let's keep hope up. Let me give information about Elan School of Fashion and Design, especially if you're interested in learning, how to become a fashion designer. You can learn fashion design, illustration, textile design, pattern making, and garments construction. There are also short courses on millinery, modeling, draping on the stand, makeup, and bridal wear. And registration is still in progress. So call these numbers if you are interested. 0302 964 896 or 054 212 5867. Rush now, enroll with us and become the next big thing in fashion. Like I said, today we're talking about your spinal cord, and I have Dr. Ashelley Dodo. She's a chiropractor and CEO of Nova Wellness Center, who are our sponsors for today, and they've made this episode possible. So welcome to, what do we call this?
The Spine Center.
Spine Center. Thank you very much. Is this not the OPD? Anyway, yes, so we'll come back and start the conversation. You know what to do. Send in your questions now.
Is one of the easiest ways to get active and to gain more energy. Imagine thousands of people walking and transferring all that energy into supporting the Black Stars. The goals.
Two, it is Gian, who is in the area, he's gone! Another is beaten, the
victory dances, the fireworks, the ultimate win, the trophy. GH1 TV brings you the 2019 edition of the Cheers Health Walk, dubbed Cheers for Black Stars, on the 22nd of June 2019. Come, let's stay fit and cheer the boys on. The Cheers Health Walk is supported by Betietu, Nova Wellness Center, Nature's Mineral Water, Hewale Social Health, Zizazu Farms and Catering Services, MTN, Cowbell.
My life was too harsh and cruel for me to believe in such sentimental things. What I can do, until the day my heart stops beating, is calculating and preparing. You'll lay off 500 employees in the 20 minutes of having a meal.
Why did you join forces with those horrible humans?
I'm so honored that you're glad to meet me.
How could I not be? I got to meet the daughter of the traitor right here.
You are consumed by the past and revenge.
There's only 1% that I'll get a heart that suits me. Can you just lie down on my chest for a while?
Oh my God.
What is revenge to you, Chief Director? You have 1 month to live. You want to live like this? No. I want to die like this.
Tell me what I need to do.
GH1 TV, your best experience.
All right, you're welcome back. And yes, our conversation begins now. Remember to send in your messages. Watch us on Facebook as well. We're streaming live, like our Facebook page. Doctor, it's good to have you on.
Thank you so much. Berla.
So we have a lot of, different settings here. And so we're going to take a look at different things, from school bags to handbags to heels, which I love to wear. And I'm going to find out. Today, I think I have to walk barefooted the whole show. Maybe there'll be a part for that. But let's start talking about the spine. First of all, can you give us some information information at least about the spine and how it connects the rest of the body together.
Sure.
Yeah.
So the spine is very essential because it houses what we call the nervous system. And the nervous system includes the brain and the spinal cord as well as the nerves.
Okay.
Now, I always say the nervous system is like your CPU for the computer.
Okay.
That's where all the functioning of the body happens.
Yeah.
So if any part of that pathway, that's the brain, the spinal cord, or the nerves, are injured, the area that is connected to that nerve, that the functioning there can reduce or can be taken away completely. So it's very, very essential that the spine is kept as optimal as possible from baby all the way till the elderly.
And this is what the spine looks like in the human body?
Yes, so this is a rubber spine, but typically this is what it looks like. The yellow things you see here represent the nerves. In real life, the nerve is actually like a piece of thread. So this is made to be larger so you can see it clearer, but really it's really, really tiny in real life. So just a little bit of a misalignment of any of the vertebrae or the spinal bones, you can imagine how much it can affect those nerves.
Wow. And it connects to every single part of the body?
Every single cell, tissue, muscle, ligament, tendon, every part of your body has a nerve connecting to it. So think of it as, now we don't really use the handset, but if you think of a telephone, your landline, the brain would be the sender, and so that's where you're calling from.
Yeah.
And then the spine is the connector. Okay. And then your body's tissues would be the recipient.
Okay.
So the nerves which come out from the spine is what transmits that information to the entire body.
You were talking about misalignment, and just like you said, it connects to every part of your body. Let's start from the top. I mean, from when you're a child, because I know that your daily habits could have an effect on your spine.
Right.
So from school-going age, you start
even from baby.
There's a way you should handle babies
so
as well?
When baby is coming out of mommy's womb, a lot of the times through the delivery, sometimes kids get some spinal problems. So that's when it actually starts from. You see kids whose parents will say things like, oh, his neck has been tilted since birth, or his shoulder has been off since birth. Sometimes it's due to spinal misalignment during the birthing process.
Can that be fixed?
Sometimes. Sometimes as they grow, naturally it would correct. And other times it doesn't correct. And that's why we strongly recommend chiropractic adjustments for children. Because when we catch it early, when we do the corrections, because they're still growing, a lot of the times as they grow tall and the spine is elongated, a lot of these things can correct.
What are some of the reasons why certain people walk, almost falling forward?
So a lot of the times there could be scoliosis, for instance. Scoliosis is when, maybe let me pull this off. Scoliosis is when the entire spine becomes crooked. And then we also have what we call hyperkyphosis, or the hunchbacks. That is when the spine bends forward this way. So any of these things, sometimes it's not the person moving forward or wanting to do that, but the body just naturally, because of the misalignments, would lean towards a certain position to help the person feel better.
And that's probably because of something heavy they carried?
It could have been something heavy they carried. It could have been an accident, sudden falls, sudden injuries, or something that may have happened earlier on in life. And most people don't even remember, so they wouldn't even know when the problem actually happened. But so many things happen to the spine that can lead to that anterior forward posture.
We'll talk about how to, find solutions to some of these problems. But first of all, let's take a look at the daily habits. So now let's go to the school-going age. This is something that we all used to carry. I mean, mine was always very heavy. Your parents would sometimes have to take out unnecessary books, And so before we even move on, let me invite our special lady for today. And we'll be using her for, our segment. This is Loretta, by the way. Good to have you. How are you? You look lovely. All right, so meet Dr. Ashelley.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
All right, Doctor, are you going to go on this side as we start talking about the use of the school bag? And so you can start giving us information.
Okay.
This is quite heavy, is it not?
It's not only heavy, it's large. So this is a very, very big bag. And that's the first mistake. Because the bigger the bag is, the more you're going to have to put in it, right?
Yes.
So you feel you can fit in a lot of things.
Yeah.
So you want to look at the size or how heavy the child is. So according to the American Pediatrician Association, they recommend that your bag should only weigh about 10% of your weight.
Okay.
So if you weigh 50 kilograms, your bag should only weigh 5 kg. So, you know, you can use that to check. And 5 kg, we're looking at a bag of rice, you know, that bag that we typically buy. So if you're 50 kg, that's how much your bag should weigh, your school bag should weigh.
Okay. That's interesting. So, I don't think people have time to be weighing their bags.
No, but you know, so
but you can
rice,
tell.
Look at the rice, and 5 kilograms is not heavy at all.
Yeah,
not at all.
Okay.
So we're gonna put this bag behind Loretta.
What you're doing, so I quickly want to ask. So let's just say 5 kg. I probably have 2 exercise books or 10 exercise books. How many should go into my bag?
So typically what we recommend is if you have a bag, you want to make sure that it has different compartments, first of all, and then you want to spread the books or evenly. And then it helps to distribute that weight across the back of the person evenly.
Okay. So she's wearing her bag now. Tell me what is wrong, what should be done right, and all of that.
So this bag, first of all, is very heavy.
Okay.
So the straps area, the weight is going to be pulling down on her shoulders.
Okay.
Then also, if she were to walk, you realize that as she's walking naturally, she would have to pull her head forward. Her shoulders are going to be rounded. Her spine is going to have to bend forward. And then she ends up walking like that.
So eventually, even when her bag is off, she
may continue. And I mean, kids are going to school for years, right? So if every day you even have to walk a short distance to and fro, and you do that for, I don't know, 10, 15 years, you can imagine the strain that it would put on your spine. Okay?
All right.
Now, the few things you want to make sure you're looking at. For hair height, this bag actually is fine because it ends just around her waistline or a little bit below. So parents need to make sure that the bags are not hanging. Sometimes you realize that the bag is all the way around the thighs. Then that means that bag is too large for the child. Okay, it's very, very important. And you have to keep the straps also tight.
Okay.
So these straps, again, work for Loretta because they are tight. Sometimes they keep it loose. So then the bag will be sagging really, really down, and that's also very bad.
Okay.
Another habit that we see a lot of kids use is the one-hand strap.
I did that a lot when I was,
the one-hand strap. And that's even worse because now, not only have you put all the weight on one side, you bend even further. So you realize that to compensate, a lot of people will end up walking like this. You know, because of the weight on that side. So it's very, very bad. Parents should make sure that their kids are using double-stranded bags. There are some bags that are even designed with the one.
I was going to say, you know, there are some that
it goes across. I think that's better, but still, to make sure that the weight is evenly distributed, you want to use the double strands so that everything is even across the back.
Okay, so now maybe she's bended over as a result of prolonged usage of this bag. How can we resolve? Is it, first of all, can you treat it?
Sure. So we see a lot of kids at our clinic, and most of them have some of these spinal problems. They may have been born with it or something happened, they fell. However, the heavy school bag only exacerbates the problem and makes it worse.
Okay.
So yes, we have techniques that we use. One of my favorite to help fix that anterior head carriage. So after they've carried the heavy school bag for so long, then they come in and it's like their heads are so much ahead of the rest of the body. We use a traction unit.
Can we see how it works?
All right. So
I know that bag is heavy. I'm so sorry. Yes.
All right. So we can set this aside.
Yeah.
So this is what we call a dinner roll, and it's for traction. So what we do is that we lay their head and neck in here, and it helps to push the head backwards.
Okay.
So it retrains the muscles, the ligaments in the neck, so that it can now hold the neck back into its normal position.
All right.
As opposed to that.
Okay.
All right. So Loretta, please lay on your back for me. So I'll place, just lift your upper back slightly, and then very good. All right. And then lean back.
Okay.
So this is what the traction unit looks like.
All right.
Maybe you can raise your head up a little bit so people can see.
Is that
okay? Okay. All right. So she'll just lay on it. So this is one simple exercise we do to help the kids hold their heads back into that normal position.
Okay. I noticed you put it on the upper part of her back, and not her neck.
Not her neck.
So the problem is not with the neck?
So the whole purpose is to create that curve.
Okay.
Now, when you look at the normal spine, it's actually curved. There are 3 nice curves in the spine.
Okay.
So a normal spine looks kind of like that.
All right.
Okay. So when the neck straightens like that, then instead of being in a curve, now it looks like that. So when we put them in the traction, we're trying to induce that curvature back into the spine.
So is this the only way by which you can solve this problem?
So this is one way.
Okay.
And then we'll also typically do the chiropractic adjustments. Let me relieve
I think
it's not very comfortable.
Yeah, but okay, so before we even move on, she looked quite uncomfortable.
Right.
Can I balance my head with a pillow? Will that work?
So we want you to hold that position. We start at 2 minutes.
Okay.
So it's not for a very long period of time. The maximum we do is 10 minutes.
Okay.
But by the time you do 10 minutes, the muscles, the ligaments would have started getting used to this exercise.
Okay.
So it's not as uncomfortable.
How long do you have to do it before your spine straightens?
It depends. Every case is different.
Okay.
The age of the child, how active they are, things that are happening outside of this treatment. Have they reduced the weight of their bags and how severe the problem was in the first place? So for some people, it could be a 3-month period. For some people, it could be 6 months. So there are a lot of factors that go into it.
All right, quickly before we even move away from bags, let's talk about handbags as well, because I know we women, listen, I like to pack my bag. I always say that if you go into my bag, I can stay in town for a week. You'll find everything
is in there, exactly.
Is that also wrong? I mean, to have a heavy handbag?
So the heavy handbag also can cause some problems. A lot of the times we carry our bags on one side.
Yeah.
So you realize that it's either always on the left or always on the right. So that can cause what we call nerve entrapment.
Okay.
Where you're hanging that bag.
Nerve entrapment.
Okay.
Okay.
Very good. Now, if you watch the way Loretta is holding the bag, you can see that her shoulders are slumped. Okay. So that's what typically happens. The heavier the bag, the more the slant. Okay. So where that bag is hanging, right here, there's a group of nerves. We call it the brachial plexus.
Okay.
Now that brachial plexus is what sends information from the brain all the way into the shoulder, elbow, and the hand.
Okay.
So when you continue to put that heavy bag there and the nerves are being impinged, then you can start getting the neck pain, shoulder pain.
Okay.
It can even go into numbness and tingling in worst case scenarios. And that means those nerves have been severely irritated. So yes, we need to keep the bags light. Take what you need as much as possible so that you don't end up with some of these problems.
How can we resolve the irritation? What can be done, especially in this case?
So we have some simple exercises that you can do, for instance, to loosen the pressure. You realize that sometimes when you feel the muscles here, they're very tense. So there are simple exercises you can do at home or in your office, and then you can stretch out those muscles to help take some of the nerve pressure off.
So like what? do you do?
One of my favorites is just simply holding your ear on one side and then just pulling.
Okay.
And as you pull, you should feel. As you pull, you can set the bag down so you can be comfortable.
Yeah. You have to take off the bag.
Yes.
Before.
Yes, absolutely. So you can hold the ear and then just very gently, don't pull too hard, but just keep the resistance there.
Okay.
Just pull it, and you should feel the stretch on that side from the neck into the shoulder area.
Yeah.
So you hold it for a few seconds, then you switch.
Okay.
It's always important to do both sides. And to make it harder, you can imagine somebody is pulling your fingertips down towards the floor. So your hand that is hanging, you can imagine somebody is pulling it, and you feel even a better stretch on that side. So that's an excellent exercise to help loosen the neck and upper back muscles.
And you can do this every day?
You can do this as much as you want, however many times possible, you know. So I always say when people are working behind their desk, we didn't even go there today.
Yeah.
That's a whole different topic.
We'll do that another time.
Yes. So people want to take at least a 5-minute break. This is an exercise you can do when you take that 5-minute break and then just stretch that area. And it helps not only the nerves, but even your blood.
Okay.
You know, there are a lot of blood vessels that are all over this place. So when you have all the tense muscles, your circulation can also be affected. But when you do these stretches, then you help the blood flow to move throughout your body better.
All right, that's lovely. Now let's move away from bags.
Okay.
Still talking about something that's related to your bags. I didn't know that carrying a wallet could also affect your spine. This is so light. I thought we were talking about heavy things, things that will weigh you down.
Right.
How does a wallet affect your spine?
So now we're going to move to the men.
Yeah.
We just finished with the ladies and the bags. Now, a lot of men like to keep their wallets in the back pocket.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when you do that, we're going to first demonstrate here. So this is what is happening.
Yeah.
The wallet is sitting right here, behind, on one side of the pelvic bone, either this side or that side. Okay. Now, there's a nerve called the sciatic nerve that runs from about the lower spine, the lumbar spine, all the way to the bottom of your foot.
Okay.
So when you put that wallet here and you sit down, then you're really compressing on that sciatic nerve. And that can cause a lot of health problems. Okay, so we're going to... Perfect. So
there's actually a photo for you to see exactly what happens.
And then we can see if, even though Loretta wouldn't put her wallet there, but... Yes. All right. So I'm going to have you just sit down.
Sometimes not just wallets. I mean, you can even have a wad of cash.
A purse, something, an envelope.
Yeah.
Very good. Excellent. Good. So if you look, you realize that her hip area is again slanted because there's something on one side and the other side is bare. Okay, so over a long period of time, if you keep doing this, what is going to happen is your pelvic bone, instead of being straight and even, would also take up that posture. Okay, so that puts a lot of stress on that sciatic nerve.
Okay.
And then when that nerve is irritated, people start developing lower back pain. And then for some men, they will complain that it radiates or it goes into the thigh, the buttocks, all the way to the bottom of the foot. So at my clinic, when men come in and they're complaining, my first question is, where do you keep your wallet?
Okay.
So let's check that one first. So if it's in the back pocket, we take it out even before we start the treatment. And half of the times, that is alone will give a lot of relief once they remove that wallet.
Where should I keep my wallet then?
So some people have stopped using wallets. If it's money or if they are handkerchiefs, they keep just enough, and then it goes in the front. Now, a lot of men don't like that because they say it's uncomfortable, but in the long run, if you don't change that habit, it can cause more severe problems down the line for you.
Is it? What's the long-term effect? Because you're talking about, experiencing some pain in your lower back, in your thigh.
So long-term effect. Now, for instance, if you're sitting on your wallet.
Are you still sitting on the wallet?
Yeah. Oh, you can.
Well, sorry.
So long term, now the pelvic bone, when it rotates that way, you realize that the spine sits right on that pelvic area. So when the bone rotates, a lot of the nerves, the muscles, the ligaments, all the structures in the bottom area here, they are also not in their neutral alignment because there's a rotation of the pelvic bone. So anytime you go out of your neutral alignment, we go into what we call overuse. So your muscles are being used harder than, working harder than they usually would. Now, once your muscles are that tense and are overused, then they start to pull on the vertebrae because the muscles line the vertebrae. So that is when you get what we call a subluxation, or you hear about spinal misalignment. That can cause that vertebrae to misalign. Once you get misalignment, which is not corrected, then slowly the bones will start to wear out. So when the bones start to wear out, your discs start to wear out. You realize there's some rubbery looking substance in between the vertebrae. So when the rubber starts to wear out, the bone starts to wear out, then you develop what we call spondylosis.
That's very medical.
So when you have spondylosis, which is not resolved, then that nerve can be fully impinged by the wearing out of the vertebrae. The spinal cord itself can be affected. And in the worst case scenario, that is when they go in and do spinal surgery.
Don't get there.
Exactly.
Don't.
My exact point. Meanwhile, a lot of these things can be prevented. But these little habits, when we don't change them, and you feel like, oh, it's not a big deal, you know, and you don't take care of yourself, by the time you are much older, when the body is not as, you know, vibrant as it used to be when you were younger, then that is when all the effects of the bad habits would set in.
Now let's talk about your sitting posture, and I'm talking more about crossing your legs. Even before we go to heels, because I know a lot of ladies will want to hear that part of the conversation. But is crossing your legs wrong? Is it bad?
Yes, that's another habit that we don't recommend at all. So
why?
when you cross your legs, again, it's one of those things that you only would cross one leg all the time. So most people will be comfortable with crossing the right over left or left over right, and it's always that way. Now, your thigh bones will be connecting right here. So when you cross, you're trying to switch or move that pelvic bone from its neutral position this way. That's number one. Number two, your knee, which you're crossing over, again, you're putting that knee joint out of its neutral alignment. So you're stretching out a lot of ligaments, a lot of structures that would normally hold these bones in their normal place. So same thing, just like we talked about, over a period of time. I mean, crossing your legs every, 2-5 minutes a day, 3 times a week, no big deal. But there are some people who cannot sit without crossing their legs.
That's a problem.
That is when it becomes a problem.
So as much as possible, I mean, it's okay to just cross beneath, right?
So yes, you can cross it. You can cross it at your ankle. Yes. But this is the one we strongly don't recommend. And not only this, a lot of the men like to do this.
That's even worse?
I think that's worse.
Wow.
I think that's worse. And I was just reading this afternoon that the reason why when you're checking your blood pressure, they always tell you put your legs flat because it ensures that the blood flow is smooth. But if, for instance, your legs are crossed, even at the ankle or this way, it actually makes your blood pressure go up. Yes. It actually makes, that's why when you're checking your blood pressure, they always tell you sit straight, make sure you're neutral. So that alone tells me that keeping your legs crossed in that position over a long period of time also has some cardiovascular.
This is how I'm going to be sitting on the show from now on. Because the moment it goes down, I'm tempted to cross.
Yes.
And that's not right. So ladies and gentlemen, it's important to always keep your feet on the ground.
On the ground. Or you can cross it.
At least.
Yes, on the ankles.
Loretta, I have heels for you, and I want you to wear it. I want us to suffer together. Because I find myself wearing heels. It's here. I can just pass it over to you. And especially, you know, corporate women or women who just like to hang out a lot and stuff. We can go dancing for hours in heels. Some people don't take off their heels when they get to the office. So it's heels from morning till evening.
Exactly.
24/7. Okay. What is wrong with that? I've heard a few people say that, especially when you're pregnant, you shouldn't wear heels.
Okay.
But if I'm not pregnant and I want to look the part, why should I be stopped from wearing my heels?
Sure. So, I mean, for ladies, I know we feel more confident, we feel more sexy when we wear the high heel shoes. But the truth of the matter is, it takes the entire body from your feet to the top of your head out of alignment.
Rather,
when you wear the high heel shoes. Yes.
Wait, hold on. Because I thought that's what straightens your back.
Loretta,
we're waiting for you. Because,
you feel straighter. I know.
Because when you're not wearing heels, you tend to slump a lot. You're like... You know,
I know. I'll explain to you.
Balance.
Yes.
Okay, Loretta is ready.
Excellent.
So please explain.
All right. So now, when we look at Loretta's heel, she's wearing maybe about 4 inches.
Probably around
between
that.
4 and 5. Okay. Now, because you are on that heel, you have more weight, your body weight on the ball of the foot, which is the front of the foot. Okay. So in order for you to balance, you have to, I can always say it's in Ghana, it's an okumi.
You have to break your inside.
Yes. I don't know how I was thinking about it.
I'm not sure how to say either. That's boom.
Exactly. Yeah. You know? So to be able to keep that weight on the ball of your foot and still stand straight, you have to do that.
Like arch your back?
Exactly. Arch your back. Yeah. There you go. Okay. You know? So in the process of that, you have to bend the top of your body forward.
Okay.
Whilst your lower back area goes backwards. And that's why you were saying you look more confident, you think it brings you, yes. However, in the long run, your head is out this way, your shoulder, your chest area is being stretched out, you are putting your back in that extra arch, like you rightly said.
Okay.
And you are again walking up and down. So they're saying that when you wear heel 1 inch, just 1 inch, puts 22% more pressure. Just 1 inch.
Wow.
Okay. Now, when you go up to 2 inches, we're talking 57% more.
This is where I sit.
Okay. And then 3 inches, we're looking 76% more. So if we're saying that hers is about 4, it means that she has about close to probably 100% pressure.
Okay.
On her body because of that heel. And that's the pressure is coming from how much force and energy it takes for you to combing or arch your back, you know, and still be able to walk and go about your daily activities.
Oh my God.
So doing this, you know, wearing high heels, going to a function, 2 hours, a few hours. But what I don't recommend is taking it to work where you're going up and down. Some people are climbing stairs, you know, and carrying all this extra pressure because you're wearing 4, 5, 6 inch heels. So that's where the problem comes. And when your body goes out of alignment, we're talking about your knees, because you have to buckle your knees.
Yeah.
You may have done it for so long, you don't realize it, but when you wear such high heels, you have to buckle your knees. So that wear and tear over that, you know, 50, 60, I don't know how many years you wear the heels for, can cause a lot of problems. So I see very corporate women at my clinic who have retired and like, oh yeah, I used to wear a lot of high heels, but I didn't feel any pain. I didn't know it would cause any problems. But when they stop, then that is when all the wear and tear that you've gathered over the years starts to set in. So yes, I don't recommend. What I'll say is maximum between 2 to 3 inches. But if we're doing 6 inches, then that's where it becomes critical. And also, if you have a fall, God forbid,
in your heel,
that can be very bad news.
And
you can fracture the bone.
Ooh, okay. So that is Dr. Ashelley Dodo. She is the CEO of Nova Wellness Center, and we're learning about our spinal cord and how it is important, to practice good habits in order to not suffer much later in life. We still haven't talked about this. I'm sure you're curious as to what this is. We'll come back and talk about that. But that's also Loretta, and she's a model for today. So if you have any questions, we'll activate the phone lines in the next few minutes. This is the Late Afternoon Show. Keep watching. All right, welcome back. It's still the Late Afternoon Show. We still have some minutes to go. We're talking about your spinal cord, which is one of the most important parts of your body. Dr. Ashelley Dodo, pardon me, is a chiropractor and the CEO of Nova Wellness Center. And when you go there with any spine problem at all, they will fix it, hopefully, if it's not worn out completely. And so if you have any questions, our phone lines have been activated. You can call. Aminadir says, okay, she says, I'm Evelyn. I want to know if the spinal cord is an organ.
If the spinal cord is an organ by itself. So, yes, we could, because we say the spinal cord is an extension of the brain, and the brain is an organ. So yes, we can call the spinal cord an organ too. Okay, interesting. Let me ask another one. Okay, so Najama says that, yay, my Ghana woman is on TV. But can you please tell us more about the right sitting posture? Okay. Yes. All right, so sitting posture. Okay, so should we do that? Yes, we can. All right, so sitting posture. This is it's a general question because it depends on the chair, it depends on where you're at. Okay. Because if you look at your couch at home, for instance, you realize that it's very different from your office chair. So obviously you have to sit in them differently. So, but ideally, no matter what you're doing, whether you're sitting or you're lying down, we want to, as much as possible, maintain what we call anatomical position of the spine, meaning we want to maintain the neutral position of the spine. So, for instance, if you're sitting slouched behind your computer, so in real sense, you're kind of like this, which most people do. So what is happening is you're bending your spine like that. Before you even carry on, Kezia is on the line from Ashaman. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the Late Afternoon Show.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for joining us, Kezia. Go ahead.
Okay. I wanted to ask the doctor. I am a seamstress and I sit a lot. Sometimes I even forget to get up and eat. And anytime I stand up eventually, I feel this sharp pain around my back and my waist too. And sometimes I have to bend towards the direction for a few seconds I can straighten up and then walk. So I wanted to find out, is there any exercise or any activities you can recommend for me to do in free time so I can try that?
All right. Okay. All right. So, yes, seamstresses, tailors are also very notorious for sitting for long hours. So my first advice to you is that you can segregate your task. Okay. So that you're forced to get up and move. So if you've used your sewing machine for a while, maybe after an hour you want to stand up and do some cutting or some designing. So set up your day in such a way that you are forced to get up and move around. At least within the hour, you should be able to get up for about 5 minutes, do something else, and then come back.
All right. And Glory Edmond Obilo says that, please, doctor, I always have cramps on my hand as though blood is not flowing each time I hold a knife to cut or to cook. What's the problem?
So that sounds like a nerve or circulatory issue, and if she's having it in her hand, it's very, very possible. I can diagnose her here, obviously, but she'll want to check her neck. She'll want to have a doctor or a chiropractor really look at what's happening in the neck spine. Is there a problem? Is there a nerve impingement that is not sending impulses into her hand that is causing that problem?
All right, and I have a call on the line. Hello, Teresa. Hi, welcome to the late afternoon show. Talk to us.
Thank you. Yeah, I would like to ask the doctor whether our sleeping position also has an effect on our spine.
Whether
our sleeping position.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Yeah, how we lie on bed, yeah.
All right, doctor.
Okay. So the questions, we didn't finish the sitting position. Okay, so let me just finish that real quick.
All right.
So as much as possible, you want to keep your spine in its neutral position, and that is keeping it straight. So as you and I are sitting now, we look quite even.
Okay.
Once you do that, or that, or you're always like that,
this is a problem
because you've taken the spine out of that neutral position. Okay, so as much as possible, I brought this up because when you were sleeping, it's a similar thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so now when you sleep on your stomach or when you sleep face down, which a lot of people really enjoy doing, unfortunately, that's the worst sleeping posture.
Huh?
Yes. So when you sleep face down, what happens is, remember I told you the spine is curved.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you sleep face down, gravity, the force of gravity is pushing down on those curves.
Okay.
So that also puts a lot of pressure on the vertebrae, the disc, the nerves, and all that. Okay. Now, the other thing is, because you don't want to suffocate, you need to make sure you turn your head when you're sleeping face down. So that puts a lot of torsion in your neck. So most people who sleep face down will tell you when they wake up, they first have some aches and pains, and then as they walk about, it loosens up. And that's because over that 6, 7, 8 hour period, you've put a lot of stress on the spine. So the best way is to sleep on your back.
Not on the side even.
The best is the back.
Okay.
If you cannot do the back for whatever reason, then you can go on to the side.
Sorry, can you use Loretta to demonstrate?
Sure.
Let me clear, because
sure.
Some people have their backs on their side. So they might end up lying, so what, this way?
So this is the best sleeping posture because as you can see, her spine is still aligned how it should be.
Okay.
So she's in what we call anatomical position as she's sleeping right now. Now when you sleep face down, if you can turn.
Okay.
So when you sleep face down, so she immediately had to turn the head that way.
Yeah.
So 6, 7, 8 hours, your head is turned this way. So you put a lot of stress.
Okay.
You put a lot of stress on the nerves that way. Now, the other thing is that the curves in the back, because of the force of gravity, and especially for us women, imagine somebody who has a very, very big backside.
Yeah.
So all that force being pulled on that spine is going to have an effect on the individual vertebrae and the disc over a long period of time if you continue to sleep like this. So if you cannot sleep on your back, sometimes people say all sorts of things. I've heard a lot of things. They can't sleep because witches will come and get them and so on and so forth. Then you can sleep on the side.
Okay.
So we can switch. All right. So if we had a pillow, then you realize that the pillow would keep her more aligned and her spine is still straight.
All right, before you even move on, some people like to sleep on 2, 3 pillows.
I don't recommend that.
How many pillows should you use?
You need one good pillow. You need one good pillow. In fact, we should have brought some. But what is happening is, imagine there's 2, 3 pillows here.
Yeah.
It's going to push her head.
Okay.
So that, again, will take her out of that neutral alignment.
So one good pillow.
One good pillow, yes.
Soft, hard,
firm. Because if it's too soft, then she's going to sink into the pillow.
Okay.
So you need a firm one, not the pillow that's like 20 years old and doesn't have any foam or cushion in it. Yes.
Michael from Kumasi is on the line. Hello.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi, welcome, Michael. Please talk to us.
Yeah, please, first of all, I just want to say this afternoon is one of the best.
Thank you very much.
And secondly, I just want to congratulate the doctor.
Yeah.
She's very good. She's very brilliant. I'm also in the medical field.
Okay.
I can see she's doing lots of great work.
All right.
My big help to her.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. You are welcome.
All right. That's all. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Nana Obaya is on the line as well. Hello. Obaya.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Welcome to the late afternoon show.
Please, I want to know how cesarean section affects the spine.
Okay.
Because about 8 months ago, I had mine, and I still feel pains there.
In your
back? X-ray.
Okay.
Yes. I had an X-ray, but I was told there was nothing wrong. But I still feel pains. I'm not able to lift heavy things.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Obaya. Doc.
All right, so this is a very special case, so I would recommend, because I can't really say, pregnancy puts a lot of strain on the spine, and that's, again, another topic all by itself. Just as the baby is developing, there's more pressure, so having back pain post-pregnancy, whether via cesarean section or normal birth or whichever way, is quite common.
Yeah.
So 8 months, yes, I would say it's still fresh. So we'll have to do a full evaluation to be able to figure out why she's having the back pain.
Okay.
It may be the CS, it may not
may not
necessarily.
be. What about carrying a baby? Does that have an effect?
I'm
on
so
your back?
happy you
Because-
brought that up. So the way we were taught to traditionally carry babies is the best, by putting them on our backs.
It's the best?
It's the best because, you see, just like we put the school bag there, when you put the baby there, you tie the baby, the weight of that child is evenly spread on your back. And they say it actually helps strengthen the back.
Okay.
Okay. However, these days, with our baby carriers, you see baby head is here, legs are dangling, and that is not healthy for baby.
Oh, for the baby, not for you,
the baby,
the mother. Okay,
yes.
why?
Because, you see, when you put the baby on your back, you realize that we bring their legs to the front, and it actually helps the hips of the child to develop.
Okay.
So,
and if you don't have hips, blame your parents.
So that is actually the healthiest way for baby and for mom, because like I said, it helps strengthen mom's back.
Okay.
But when we use these baby carriers, and there are so many different types, okay, a lot of them don't give that child any support around the legs. So you see their legs are just dangling and there's no support at all. So I always tell mothers, yeah, it looks trendy, it looks fashionable, but you need to do it right. And there are certain types of baby carriers that have made like a makeshift support, like a band there.
So once you have that, it's fine.
Once you have that, it's fine.
Okay.
But a lot of the times we're buying these carriers blindly, and then you put baby in it, and it doesn't even out the weight for baby as much as putting that baby on your back.
All right, let's move to this side before we even forget. I'm seeing this here. What's this called? Okay, so Patrick is on the line, so whilst we...
All right.
Patrick.
Hello.
Hi, welcome, Patrick.
Okay, Patrick. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, I would like Doctor, whether sleeping without pillow have any effect on the spine, because I'm the type who doesn't like pillows at all.
Sleeping
without a pillow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So sleeping without the pillow, yes, sometimes people feel more comfortable that way, but in my experience, most people who are feeling better without a pillow, it's because they actually have a spinal problem in the neck. So when they use a pillow, it aggravates it. So when they do without the pillow, they feel better. In my experience, that's what I've come. So when I hear that, what I advise is, yes, even though you feel better without it, you want to have it checked. Is everything fine? If everything is fine, then sure, you can go and continue sleeping without the pillow. But if there is a problem, then you don't want to just ignore it. You want to fix that problem before you go ahead.
All right. So let's quickly do this before we go. I know we have very little time, but these two are important.
Sure.
What's this for, first of all?
That's what we call a wobble disc. Now, this is a very, very good instrument to use for spinal exercise. Okay. So at our clinic, we do the chiropractic adjustments, but it's important that the adjustments hold. And we exercise a lot. We exercise our heart, we exercise so many things, but the little structures around the spine, we tend to forget about. So we use this wobble disc to exercise those little structures around the spine so that when we do the chiropractic adjustment, it holds better. So Loretta is doing it excellently.
So what, you move from side to side?
First of all, the most important thing is to hold your core.
You are not doing that.
So hold your, so hold your core really tight and then just very little movements. Yes, now excellent. So this helps to exercise or strengthen those little structures around the spine to hold the bones in place better.
So if you're having issues with your back.
So yes, this is good for back pain, it's good for core strengthening, it's good for proprioception, because sometimes people will realize that they are not able to hold themselves because it's moving. If you can't hold yourself, if there are no handles, you may actually slip off. So that's why you have to hold your core to be able to do it. So it's very good for proprioception, and it does so many other things as well.
So those tiny pop-ups on there, do they have an effect on?
So they are there because you can also step on the wobble disc. Yes, and again, because it moves, it helps with the way your body, your brain and the body would communicate to hold you in place. And again, when you do that, you have to hold your core because you might fall off.
What about this machine?
So this is for stretching as well.
Right, I think you might have to remove your heels.
Yes, you would need to remove.
We have very little time, but we're still going to try and do this before we go. And while she's getting ready, let me tell you, in fact, on the 22nd of June, which is next week, Saturday, during the Cheers Health Walk, we'll have the Nova Wellness Center set up here at the GH1 Studios to give out some massage and also to, of course, give advice on whatever problems it is that you might be having with your spine, especially. And so that is one more reason why you have to be here. I'm going to move this chair so we can focus more on the machine. So Dr. Na Ashelley Dodo will be here to help you out if you have any problems at all. Let me move to this side. Doc, are you ready?
So the seat will come back. Yes.
Okay. So let's do this. So first of all, what's this machine?
So you're going to look like this. So this is a pre-core stretching machine, and we use this to stretch out the various muscles. You can stretch out your upper back, the mid-back area, and the lower back, the back of your thighs. A lot of people who have lower back pain, sometimes it's actually not from the back, it's because the hamstrings are so tight that they cannot even straighten up. So we use this machine to help stretch out those tight muscles to help them feel better.
Okay, so can you take us through some?
All right, so just push this, what you're sitting on, backwards as far as you can. There you go. And go, hold on and go as far. So as she does that, that's very good actually. So you can see that her entire back is being stretched out. So you hold it for a few seconds, then you come back up.
You have to pull yourself back up.
Exactly. Doesn't it feel good?
It does, really?
Yeah, so that's just one exercise. You can also do things with your legs. You can bring one leg out and then stretch it. So
can we try a few other?
So bring it back.
Producer, I hope we have enough time for extra. Thank you. All right.
And then just straighten one leg out. All the way, straighten it out. Very good.
This way?
And then go back again.
Okay.
Very good. Wow, she's a pro. So this is going to stretch out the hamstring.
Okay.
So that's the muscles at the back of the thigh. I hope you can feel it. Yes, so that also, it's very, very good for people who are struggling with lower back pain due to tight hamstrings.
Do I need a professional around me when I'm doing this, or can I have this at home?
Oh, I mean, so long as you know how to do it,
you should be fine.
Once you know, all the instructions are here, but we strongly recommend that you are evaluated first.
Okay.
Before, because not all of our patients are able to do this.
All right.
Yes, so when you come in after we've done the spinal evaluation and gone through the x-rays and all that, based on the findings, then we may recommend that, yes, you can do these stretches in addition to the adjustments.
I see a standing posture there as well.
Yes.
Could you kindly demonstrate that for us?
So go ahead and stand up, please.
Okay.
Okay. And then you're going to put your foot on the seat, on the top of the seat. Yes. Okay. All right. And then just bend down and up. Yes, you can come back a bit more on this when you're coming. Yes.
Okay.
So just to your comfort. Yeah.
Okay.
And then, yes.
Oh, so this is, okay.
Yes, so this is also good, again, for the quads, the front of the thigh, the quad muscles. That's also good to help stretch that out.
Interesting. I know there's a lot of people, or there are a lot of people that also take part in, why have I forgotten the name of this procedure where you connect with your soul? What's it called again?
Meditation?
Well, yeah, yoga. Thank you.
Yoga, okay.
It escaped me a minute.
Okay.
Is that also good for the back? Because I noticed that they tell you to stretch, there's so many things you have to do. Is that also another thing you recommend?
So yoga is an excellent exercise,
okay,
but it has to be done with a lot of caution, under a lot of supervision, because if you don't do the right things, if you're not careful, you can hurt yourself. But yes, if you are cleared and you don't have, because some of these exercises, if you're not careful, you can actually worsen the problem. So not only yoga, but even lifting of heavy weights and all these things. I have guys who come in, I was lifting some weights at the gym, I had a pop in my back. And most of the time, it's not the exercise, but it's how you were doing that exercise. So it's important to keep all that in mind.
Quick one as well. So a friend of mine taught me something. So when you wake up in the morning, you have to try and touch your toes, because apparently it stretches your back. And is that also right?
So for most people like yourself, you don't have back pain, you don't have any issues. Yes, you do.
I do.
So if you do, then I wouldn't recommend flexing that way so much, like every day.
Okay.
Because you don't know what is happening in especially this region. For instance, if you have what we call disc bulges, or disc herniations, and you also bend over that disc, that can cause more back pain. So that's why it's always important to check with your doctor. Can I do this exercise? Is this safe? For most people, yes, you should be able to touch your toes. But that's if you don't necessarily have any problem. But if there is an issue, then you want to have a check before you do any exercise.
All right, doctor, I mean, for those of you who might not be able to come here next week, Saturday, even though I advise that you do, can you kindly give us directions to your wellness center and also your contact as well?
So we're located right on the Kanda Highway.
Okay.
Just across from the Swiss Embassy, and our phone number is 026-995-2077. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, Google, and so if you just type Nova Wellness Center, you can find us, and or if you go to our website, novawellnessgh.com, you can send me an email right there, and I'll respond as well.
Is it only the spine you work on, or every other part of the body?
So all joints, the knee, the shoulder, and we use conservative treatment. So we
Okay.
don't use any drugs, we don't use any surgery. It's all natural. Chiropractic, massage, physiotherapy is what we use to treat all these conditions.
That's interesting. So see you next week, Saturday, 22nd of June at the Cheers Health Walk. We'll start from the GH1 premises, 6 a.m. on the dot. Do not be late. Don't be like Mommy. Be like me. Yeah. But anyways, all your favorite, TV presenters here at GH1, all your favorite broadcasters at EIB Network will join. And let me quickly tell you about this new telenovela that GH1 TV will start showing. It's about this young woman who is not too confident in herself. So she's in love with her boss, but for some reason, she's not sure how to handle this emotion that she's feeling. And there are a lot of people also hating on her. And so it's something very interesting. I'm sure it's something you might be experiencing as well. So you need to watch it. We call it Secret Love, and it's coming your way very soon on GH1 TV. Also, Elan School of Fashion is a place where you can learn how to design, to do draping, cutting, millinery, and so much more. They'll also be here next week, Saturday, at the Cheers Health Walk, where some lucky people will get free training from Elan School of Fashion and Design. If you're interested, you can contact them if you want to register for their courses. 0302 964 896 or 054 212 5867. And a few more messages. Our time is up. Let me quickly do this. Okay, so wow, I'm learning a lot. That's from a 3-year-old. Labi Senior says, I'm watching live in Amasaman. Very educative. And happy birthday to Fluzi Haba. He says, today is my birthday. Happy birthday to Thelma of the BU team as well. Also works at Jobberman. Happy birthday to you. And so on Friday, we'll be talking about what's trending on the late afternoon show. Stoneboy is in the news today because he was unhappy about some story that was published by a particular blogger. And so we'll talk about that. The girls that have not been found, I'm talking about the Takrady girls, we're going to be asking serious questions on Friday. If the Canadian girls have been found, then what stops the Ghana police from finding our Takrady girls? It's sad. We'll ask questions. And if you also want to join us on air, you can be at GH1 TV, 3 p.m. sharp, so you can be part of our studio audience. Dr. Na Ashelley Dodo. It's good to have you on the show.
Thank you
and
so much.
I'm so grateful. There's so much we've learned. Thank you so much, Loretta, as well. And yes, this show has been brought to you by Nova Wellness Center. Get in touch with her, go there and get a solution for your problems. And we'll see you next week, Saturday, right here at GH1 TV. My name is Berla Mundi. Thank you for watching. And the repeat tonight is 10:30. So on Wednesdays, we repeat at 10:30 p.m. Make sure to watch and see you on Friday. Keep watching GH1 TV. Good evening.
Secret Love, coming soon on GH1 TV.